Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of the 2 and 4 podcast. I am your host, Shanley Wong, and with me co-hosting is
Adrian A.D. Trujillo, as they call me.
Wait, what's your middle name?
Bernabe.
Okay, so Burnaby is going to be my co-host.
Burnaby, a.k.a. A.D., a.k.a. Infamous A.D.,
Infamous A.D.,
a.k.a. On the Mic,
a.k.a.
Infa, a.k.a. Mr. Infamous. I mean, it just keeps going. Like, you know.
Yeah, I'm just Shanley.
A.k.a. Shantak.
A.k.a. Stanley, a.k.a. Chun-Li, a.k.a. Jan. Those are all things that I've gotten on Starbucks cups before.
That's fine.
But my name is Shanley. That is Shanley. My middle name is the letter Y.
And his last name is Wang.
And my last name is pronounced Wong. But I am quite a dick. So we have here a brand new hip-hop podcast where we're going to talk about trends, artists, different albums, what we like, what we don't like in the world of hip-hop.
Especially what we don't like.
Yeah. But the real question is, who the fuck are we to talk about hip-hop? What makes us qualified to talk about hip-hop?
Old heads, son.
You're not even 30 yet. I don't know.
Some like actual old head is going to be like, who's this guy? What does he think he's doing?
Somebody who's been like following since the beginning is just going to be like, these fucking kids. All right.
These young bloods.
So yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background in hip hop, how you came up, how you came across hip hop?
All right. Well, ever since about the age of 13, I have just been making beats and recording songs and albums with my buddies. Starting up on like Sony Acid, and then going to Fruity Loops, and then going to Reason. Then I finally got my hands on Pro Tools.
Yeah,
and
for those who don't know, those are
these are all just
software.
music creation software. Some of them are software where you record into. Some of them are software for actually making beats. Anybody that's a hip hop producer out there or whatever knows Fruity Loops, now FL Studio or Reason. They're still around. They're actually still great, especially if you're learning and you're first starting out. But yeah, just, you know, for 15, almost going on 16 years now, just been making beats, recording rhymes, then went to music school, studied production because I was like, whoa, I can actually make a career out of this. Side note, you can't. And went to music school, got a degree in production and engineering. And now I am working in studios, recording people, still making some beats on the side and stuff. But that's that.
Cool. I got into it in a pretty roundabout way. Like any good Asian kid, I started off learning piano from a very young age at age 4. Played classical for a long time. Went through the grind of, you know, the testing bullshit where you have to like memorize 3 pieces.
The Hanens.
The Hanens, your Mozarts, your Schuberts, your Beethovens, your Debussy's, your Frost. And then
the OGs of classical.
Yes, exactly. And then I got into funk music. I really liked it when I was in middle school. And around the same time, I joined band and a jazz band. And in jazz band, we got to play jazz and funk. And for anyone who knows their history, hip hop is heavily influenced by both of those genres. You know, I went from funk, and then hip hop was kind of a natural transition for me. And then I went to music college as well with my co-host, Burnaby.
Hell yeah.
AD at Berklee College of Music. For those of you who don't know, Berklee College of Music is the second most prestigious music university in America. If not all of North America.
Yeah.
And there I actually switched majors like 3 times. But I ended up
And he
with...
calls me the indecisive one.
We'll get to that later. So I studied contemporary writing and production, but it was kind of a catch-all major. And I also studied film scoring. So I came out, and I think unlike Adrian, I'm actually a published hip-hop producer. Is that true?
No. I've got a couple of tracks. I'm actually a published hip-hop producer as well, yeah.
So we are technically published hip-hop producers, so we are absolutely 100% qualified. All of our opinions are law. You can't argue with anything that we say because we know what the hell we're talking about because we have the degree to prove it because we went to school.
Yeah. Like that Kanye skit. Like, I went to school, I got my degrees. So much knowledge.
Kanye West. Yeah, I also have some music on television, but 2 years into my music career, I decided to call it quits and moved on to other things that I am more passionate about. But I still love hip-hop. I still listen to it all the time. I obviously love music. Anyone who doesn't love music is probably soulless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's like even if you don't like all music, even if there's only one genre of music you like everyone likes some sort of.
Yeah.
Which is why we're here.
And actually, hip hop is a very divisive genre. There's people that really, really hate it, but we're here to show you the great side and the not so great side.
We're gonna talk about it all.
We're gonna talk about it all. But it all stems from an appreciation, a love for the culture and the music.
Yeah. So first, shout outs to our sponsors. Okay, on to the next segment. We've got today. We're gonna be talking about the new J. Cole album, For Your Eyes Only. That's
Your eyes.
That's the number 4, the Arabic numeric 4, and then Your Eyes, eyes spelled with a Z, and then only normal.
He's getting his 90s and Prince naming conventions on.
Yeah, the impossible to Google Tupac songs because you just
ambitions
you
as...
vaguely remember, but you're like typing it in and then Google's like, no, you meant this misspelling. You're right. So this is his 4th major studio album. So he came on the scene with a bunch of hot mixtapes.
Hot mixtapes.
And then some lukewarm albums.
I would say that people generally felt his third album, 2014, Forest Hills Drive, but his first 2 were kind of hot garbage.
Yeah.
Even though he was not okay, they weren't hot garbage. That's a little strong, I'd say.
I mean, to this day, we reference Nice Watches
all
the
Nice
time.
Watch, but that's a guilty pleasure song. We're not saying it's good. The beat's kind of whack. Jay-Z
Meanwhile.
Yeah, Jay-Z's ridiculous. Meanwhile, chopping off doors. He puts the front on the back, moves back and forth. Something about moving back and front of people.
The directions, there are only 2 of them, but it still manages to be confusing. And that's why it's good.
It's confusing in a good way.
I hate that mentality so much. It's like people like go to art galleries and stare at canvases that are nothing but like red paint and they're like, this really
It's provocative.
Yes.
It gets the people going.
Yeah, and you use words like gestalt and zeitgeist and just make me want to punch you.
Thankfully, this piece of art by J. Cole is not a weird experimental art piece.
Let's say overly contemporary.
Overly contemporary.
But it's still probably the most artistically pure of his studio albums, I feel.
Yeah.
Forest Hill Drives was also there.
But this has more of like kind of what he's working towards with his whole kind of mentality as an artist.
Yeah, there's a much more unified vision here. Yeah. There's not like this, I'm going to go braggy and then I'm going to go storytelling. Like he's really focused on something. It's a smaller boutique production. So let's just go track by track and give some of our thoughts on this.
Sounds good.
Very first track is For Whom the Bell Tolls.
I see the rain pouring down before my very eyes. Should come as no surprise.
And it starts off with some belly sounds. I believe that's kalimba.
Nice for all you music nerds, Lydian stuff going on.
I'm gonna punch you.
Hey, we mentioned that we are music lovers and music nerds.
Yes.
So we gotta acknowledge these things.
Yeah.
We gotta acknowledge these.
Is the people don't know what Lydian is.
No. Okay. So for anybody that doesn't know what that is, just think of the first notes of the Simpsons theme song, or that main Zelda theme song. That's what immediately reminded me of.
Kokiri Forest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
Yes.
That sound, that magical, mystical sound.
Yeah. It's like normal, but then it's got that little something that gives it that magic dust. Yeah. That's what Lydian is. So For Whom the Bell Tolls is one of these hip hop intros, no rapping, just kind of like a conceptual piece. There's like this weird, you've got a instrument used in jazz commonly,
exactly,
trumpet in this case, and
he kind of just sets up the concept of the album a little bit.
And I think that For Whom the Bell Tolls, clearly he's already putting in there like death. That's going to be a thing in this album.
Yeah, but he brings up the spirits a little bit later with other songs on the album.
Yeah, it's still a hip hop song.
It's a good stage to set everything else that's going to happen.
There's some that I really like it's not hip hop, but like Janelle Monáe, Arcandroid, that first opening is really nice, the orchestral one. I really like the Finding Forever intro.
That's good too.
And I also like Water for Chocolate has one of the best ones, Time Traveler. But that's less of it. It's an intro to begin with, but then it becomes like an actual rap song.
Exactly. And then you got like Roy Hargrove on that. Oh, it's so good. Questlove, like all that crew, the Soulquarians crew producing that. That was crazy.
All right. So after For Whom the Bell Tolls, we have
Immortal.
Now I was barely 17 with a pocket full of hope, screaming dollar in a dream with my closet looking broke and my niggas looking clean, getting caught up with that dope. Have you ever served a fiend with a pocket
Which is
full of hope?
it's a nice song. It's
It's
one
a
of the
Fall Out
heavier.
Boy song.
It's a Fall Out Boy song. What really?
Be immortal.
Oh, okay, I don't know it. It sounded like you were singing
You know-
like you got a girlfriend but don't like a boyfriend.
You know,
it's something. I don't know.
All the Fall Out Boy songs are the same, so it doesn't matter.
Can we just generalize that even more and say all of those like alternative, dancey, poppy, indie rock songs are all the same? Because that's what I was.
Wow, you just named 4 genres.
Yeah.
And got nowhere near specific
Nope.
enough. All right, so Immortal. For me, this song takes me back to his mixtapes. Like it's a it's got that sample, a fluty sample, and then it kicks into like a really. I really like J. Cole's drums. Like for the stuff that he produced himself on his mixtape. Unlike some other producers that rap, he actually brings it with the drums. That's a shot at Kanye West, by the way, who for like the first 5 years of his career brought the weakest drums to some of the best beats. Some of the best beats, some of the weakest drums. And that's not the case with J. Cole here in Immortal.
No, this is definitely one of the heavier hitting songs on the album. A little bit trappy, but like not modern trappy, which he kind of gets into with the next song, which that's like one of my only points against it. But with this one, he's got some nice instrumentation, the nice little string bridge before the third verse, the little fluty guitar-y sample is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty catchy. I like the beat.
It's a trappy sound, but it's still a boom.
Yeah,
it's
no,
a boom bap
exactly.
feel.
Yeah.
And I'm always down for that. So after that, we have for me, it's kind of an appropriately named song, Deja Vu, because for me, it just feels like Immortal, just a little bit more in the trappy direction.
Sometimes you worry about the things he can provide for you. Whenever you around, I seem to come alive for you. I finally recognize the feelings that's inside for you. Although I know your man and trust me, he would die.
These
for
two
you.
songs back to back was a little weird for me, just because it was like I kind of feel like I already heard this song.
No, there definitely is a similar beat style going on here with the last one. But this one's, in my opinion, a little more generic and modern with like that reverby vocal sample and like that really long 808 boom line. It's like, I was feeling Immortal a lot more. But there's actually a really interesting thing about this. Apparently, this song was recorded for 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Really?
And I guess there was some controversy because another producer for the song, Exchange by Bryson Tiller, apparently stole the beat from Boy Wonder and Vinyls, the guys that produced the song for J. Cole's album. And they had like this Twitter, Instagram beef and feud over it. And Foreign Tech, the other producer that apparently stole it, finished by offering Boy Wonder and Vinyls a percentage of the publishing royalties for the Bryson Tiller song. So kind of admitting that he stole it.
Yeah.
So there was like this whole beef going on, and people were like, oh no, J. Cole recorded this way long ago for the 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And the Bryson Tiller Exchange song is like kind of whatever. The beats are similar. They use that same little vocal sample, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Deja Vu is a much better song.
This is a note for all of you would-be producers and would-be artists out there. Having a good lawyer is super important.
Yes.
Protecting yourself is super
Yeah,
important.
and even if you don't have a good lawyer, get some contracts and get them signed.
You can find contracts on
Yeah,
contract templates online.
And
It's not that hard.
And even if you don't use the most legally appropriate language, just bring it to the session, introduce it to the artist or to the engineer, whoever, have them sign it. It's easy to do. It saves a lot of headache later, and you just have to get used to doing that. That's just something you got to do.
yeah.
Or forward it to their managers if they happen to have a manager.
Exactly.
So,
No, I mean, no. I'm not going to name any names, but there are some people out there that owe me some fucking money.
oh, there's people out there that owe everybody money. Me too, my friend. Me too. Contracts are important. Get them done.
Yes, absolutely. All of that drama aside,
Yeah, I like the storyline. The trying to impress the girl, trying to like show her away from the thuggish lifestyle, but like
Yeah.
saying like, listen, I have way bigger dreams and aspirations, so
yeah.
join me.
Yeah, this is like the showing the ambitious side of a rapper outside of a brag rap environment, which I think is kind of cool. And that's an ongoing theme throughout this whole thing. He uses storytelling a lot more than he shows. He doesn't tell as much, which is really nice. Next track we got is
Bill Mentality.
Nigga play me never. Give up my chain never. Give up my pride never. Show 'em my pain never. Dirt on my name never. Dirt on my name never. Dirt on my name never.
And
Dirt
this
on
is
my
a
name
pretty
never.
unique song. It's a song in 12/8. For me, I was waiting for half the song for him to start rapping for real, like this half singing, half rapping thing. Like, it's a non-commitment for me.
But that's kind of like J. Cole's style nowadays, especially on this album and the last one. He's incorporating more of that sing-songy kind of half singing, half rapping thing, and
Yeah, it's not bad, but I definitely enjoy the second half.
It's not my favorite. Yeah, no, I
lot more.
agree with you. Yeah, like the give up my chain never, pull up my that part is nice.
Yeah.
But the beat is kind of cool. The beat for all you that don't know musical terms, the 12/8 thing is kind of like that like
3 feel.
waltzy kind of feel, that boom dum 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 boom dum dum.
Yeah, it's a good beat, and he handles it a lot better than other rappers.
Yeah, he does.
Next song we have is
She's Mine Part 1.
Catch me, don't you? Catch me, don't you? Catch me. I've fallen in love.
With this song, I personally, just to kind of fast forward a bit, I prefer She's Mine Part 2, and I'm going to introduce one of my first general thoughts on the album is that I just think he's singing too much, man. I get it. You're trying to be sincere and honest, and I appreciate that you're not using auto-tune for all you know
Right.
producers, and you're not using auto-tune or any other tuning things. But let me say, it's very obvious that you're not using it. Like, but that being said, I do appreciate the honesty.
on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being the worst off-key person of all time, 10 being like classically trained, enormously good intonation singer, and like 3 being Alicia Keys. What?
Shots
I'm just
fired.
kidding. I'm just kidding. She's very flat though.
She is. She sings flat.
It's a thing. It's her style.
No, it's her style.
It's
It is her
fine.
style.
And so I actually like Alicia Keys a lot, but she does.
I do too. But sometimes it gets a little bit grating. You're just like, ooh. Get a little bit higher up
It's a little
there,
back there.
please.
Yeah. And so we're getting that a lot with the J. Cole here.
Yeah, we
except
are.
he also doesn't have like the timbre.
He's a little
He's got an
abrasive.
abrasive singing style. There are a lot of notes that you can't decide which ones he's going for.
It's kind of in between.
Yeah, it's kind of those in between notes, It's,
They just get a little crunchy. But that being said, some of the other musical ideas are cool. The keys, the strings, like he's got some nice road stuff going on. And when he starts rapping, it's cool. And I enjoy the message. He's talking about his wife. He's describing, how much better of a person he is with her and like how he wants to like pour his soul out to her.
Right.
And
And
that's nice.
And in the middle of all that, he does need to mention that she's good at blowjobs.
That's one of his lines.
Everything else is like this beautiful, sensitive, like, just really deep conversation.
Yeah.
And then just like,
Oh, by the way.
your mouth feels great.
No, that is definitely. And that's just kind of like that. Like,
I'm just saying that it like comes out of nowhere, kind of.
yeah, it does.
Because
It does.
he's talking about everything except for the sex for a good portion of this, and then the one line. It could have been a little. It stands out because like I was listening to it and I was we were at a 3 and then we went to like the letter X and then
For a second.
and then we went 3. I do like how this song is a slow burn. It might be too slow of a burn for some people, but I feel like it is a nice change of pace. It's a good interlude for the second half of this album, I feel, which starts with the song
Change.
Real change come from the cemeteries on chains. I see men cry, but the only real change come from inside. But the only real change come from inside. But the only real change come from prodigal son.
And this song's probably my immediate like run through of the album favorite song.
Mm-hmm.
The beat is cool. It's not fantastic, but it's head bob worthy. It's a little faster than I normally like my hip hop songs to be. I love that low and slow stuff. I love his flow on this song. The probably my favorite flow on the album, and his third verse, he starts that one with the prodigal son got a new gun. That's like it's a good rhyme scheme. It's a good the where he starts it on the beat is nice. It's cool.
It's definitely the rapperiest. Yeah.
I'm glad he's doing it from like an inner perspective as opposed to like really getting preachy and stuff, which he tended to do on some past albums.
One thing to note, this song is, I think it's the fastest song on the album.
I think so, yeah.
And it is the closest to my ideal beats per minute. I like faster tempo songs. My partner over here, he just lethargic and he doesn't appreciate.
But no, that's why it was
no
interesting.
Verve whatsoever.
No verve. That's why it's interesting that it was my immediate favorite song. But I do enjoy it. But the flow is what got me. The flow over the beat is what got me.
Yeah. I think that this also heralds like an increase in the variety that happens in this album. Like the first half of this album is way sameier than the second half of this album.
Yeah.
And then we go into the next song, which is
Neighbors.
I think police is at the
Okay, the
door.
neighbors think I'm selling dope. I guess the neighbors think I'm selling dope. Selling dope.
which is apparently autobiographical.
It is autobiographical. And it's the only full J. Cole production on the album. Only he did the production on this song,
Yeah,
which
this
is kind of cool.
Very personal for him.
Very, very personal. You want me to get into the story a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he rents out a house in North Carolina, and that's where he has his studio, and they recorded a lot of this album there. So there's constantly people in and out, producers and musicians and label people and whoever, representatives, marketing people, coming in and out.
Yeah.
And apparently...
We should probably mention many of them are probably black.
Probably that's worth noting.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the producers was talking about it, and they even admit to smoking some weed you're recording an album,
It's
you're in
legal
music.
in many states.
It's legal in many states. It's whatever. But some of his neighbors around the area weren't really feeling it, and they called the cops on him. And they sent a SWAT team and helicopters and everything. And there was actually nobody there when they came by.
Right. J. Cole at the time was at South by Southwest.
Yeah. He wasn't in the area.
Yeah. And but
So thankfully,
they raided
they raided
all
the place.
that
They
stuff.
raided the house and studio and everything, and then they get
nothing.
inside, found nothing, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And like the irony is that he's trying to kind of make this like conscious music about not selling drugs and live that gangster mentality.
Yeah.
And yet he gets called by his neighbors
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, he's in that gangster shit, selling drugs and stuff."
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
I think that's exactly why he's making this kind
Exactly,
of stuff. Just
yeah,
so
yeah.
that, like this kind of it's going to take a long time. It's going to take several generations. But this perception of the criminal guy who's black.
no, and he's just trying to like call that out. He's like, "Listen, I just want you to understand that."
The neighbors think I'm selling dope.
The neighbors think I'm selling dope, and that's
implying that they are wrong.
yeah, exactly.
And why the fuck is this happening?
Yeah, but this song probably has my favorite line in the album, if only because it is a Jay-Z reference. It's a reference to Jay-Z, my first song off of the Black album. He says, "Fuck the fame and the fortune." Well, maybe not the fortune.
Yeah. Who's Jay-Z?
Moving on.
Actually, I just want to say one last note on Neighbors.
Okay.
For me, I really did like changes, but for me, actually, I think the rapping, I like the rapping best on Neighbors.
No, it's a good flow here too.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
great flow.
Yeah, for me.
And it has my favorite line, so there's an argument there.
Which is
also.
ironic because, you like Change, which is much more my tempo, and then I like Neighbors, which is much more your tempo.
Yeah. Hey, some people get hit with different songs different, man.
Yeah, definitely. Next song, I really want to mention this one because it has my favorite beat on the entire album. It is
a good beat.
Folding Clothes.
I wanna fold clothes for you. I wanna make you feel good. Baby, I wanna do the right thing. Feel so much better than the wrong thing.
It's my favorite beat on the album, despite not being a traditional 2 and 4, which should be blasphemy on this podcast, the 2 and 4 podcast.
It is.
But this one actually doesn't have. It's got like that anaphor kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's way more for those of you musically inclined. It is much more clave. It's much more
Okay.
so-
No, if I can mention Lydian, you can mention this. Though. Keep going.
Yeah. No, but like clave is way more common. It's a rhythmic thing that actually has been around for a long time in like human music. You can be traced back to like Africa, but that term comes from Cuba mostly.
The Afro-Cuban music.
The Afro-Cuban music, and it's just without getting too much into it, it's a feel that you can find in a lot of music.
It was really, really popular a few years ago in like with the Lex Luger production type trappy stuff with the
That was
like
that was a
fly.
super overt version of that
yeah,
also
yeah.
because that was just like literally we're just gonna put that on the 808 snare on top of the clave, but like you can hear it's like in a lot of it's in every genre of music.
Yeah, and sometimes it's understated and you like it, but like you feel it and it's there and it kind of gives this danceable.
Yeah, it's like automatic syncopation, and it's really really cool. And so the whole beat for Folding Clothes has this, and I like it a lot. I like all of the different textures. I like the guitar that comes in. I like the bass line.
Nice.
I like the high guitar that comes in afterwards. It's really trebly. I like the chorus texture that comes in. I think that's
the
really
song
nice.
makes you want to do the Kanye shuffle.
I don't think it's I feel like Kanye. I feel like
like I don't know. It makes me want to
no,
like do
the
that.
Kanye shuffle is a much higher tempo.
Okay, well, can you explain what the Kanye shuffle is?
Okay, so there's a video of Kanye West out there, and he's like going through his beat making process.
Yeah.
And like so he's showing one of his beats, and like it's a very standard Kanye beat. Like he finds a really cool sample, and then he puts some really weak drums on top of it. But like he does this dance where it's like he's got his he's pumping his fists up and down like he's
Like
running.
Running Man?
Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
running, and he's he's got his shoulders into it, and like I really like doing it because it's the Kanye shuffle, and it's like this super awkward looking dance.
But yeah, it's the Kanye shuffle. We refer to it now as the Kanye shuffle.
If I can find it, I will post a link to it somewhere on our social media, which we will have soon.
But no, really quick, back to Fold and Close. I enjoy the message of this too. He's like, get into real everyday life things. Like he's like, I see my wife, she's snapping. What can I do to help her? I can fold clothes for her. I can grab the laundry, start folding clothes for her. I can do something nice for her. And it has my second favorite line on the album, which is he's talking about he wants to sit and chill with her, watch Netflix.
Yeah.
And he talks about eating breakfast.
But like literally Netflix and chill. Like
literally,
not the euphemism of Netflix and chill, just like literally chill with Netflix.
Yeah. And his line is he's eating some Raisin Bran, something. He's like, Raisin Bran in my bowl with bananas and some almond milk. I never thought I'd see the day I'm drinking almond milk. I really connected with that line.
It really does. I mean, for any dude who's in a relationship, like you will one day, you'll be eating something, you'll be like, how did I get from Doritos to this?
Why am I drinking almond milk?
Like almond milk is disgusting. It is legit. It is. Why does anyone drink almond milk? Is my question.
I don't know.
We don't need to get into that.
We don't need to get into
Let's talk about.
This is not a dietary podcast.
Let's talk about how good the advice of being a responsible laundry participant can do for a relationship.
Yeah, and it's just a great song, great vibe.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's my favorite song on the album.
These last three that we've talked about, they're probably 1, 2, and 3 probably change first, and then the other two in no particular order. I like them. Yeah, they're my favorite songs.
Yeah, I think like it's tough for me to pick a top 3, but it'd probably be 2 of those 3 songs that we've talked about, and then Immortal.
Yeah, Immortal's good.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got She's Mine
Part 2.
Part 2, which is the She's Mine that you prefer.
Am I worthy of this gift? Am I worthy of this gift? Am I strong enough to live? Am I strong enough to live to a place that I can see? To a place that I can see.
It's part 2, so it has a lot of the same musical elements. In fact, I think they're identical, except the beat doesn't kick in this one, but he's rapping a lot more in this one. He's doing like his sing-song rappy thing that he was doing also in Bill Mentality, but he's doing a little bit more rapping in this one, and I like that he's talking to his daughter. It's a great inner monologue. He's talking to himself, it feels like, about his love for his daughter, but also his worries for her future, tying into the whole rest of the concept with, like, one of my best friends was shot, and like, oh, look, the police raided me because my racist neighbors think that I'm selling dope. So he's worried about that and sharing that with his daughter in a direct note to her. I just like the message.
I think,
it's a solid song.
He expresses a lot of the thoughts that first-time parents have when they, when it hits them, because that, that's a really profound moment for anyone.
Absolutely.
For some people, it might be during childbirth. Sometimes it's just like, they're so freaked out, and then one day they settle and they're like, they realize the gravity of the responsibility of caring for somebody. He does a really good job of capturing it.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah, no, it feels it feels as honest and sincere as the first She's Mine, but
the She's Mine Part 2 is a really good segue into For Your Eyes Only.
Hey, niggas be dying on the daily. It seems my dreams faded for far too long. The consequences deadly. Can't visualize myself as nothing but a criminal. Control the block, serving up rocks and states.
It makes perfect sense. It's 8 minutes long, but it's not like an ambitious track. It's just a really good, solid culmination of the entire album. Yeah. I think it's just a super solid track to end on.
I think it's a great title track. It kind of shows the whole concept of the album. Talking about the beat a little bit. Great boom bappy beat. Probably, honestly, my favorite beat on the album. Since
it is very good.
With the horn line.
I'm a sucker for horns.
Yes.
Usually the song with the most horns is my favorite song off the album. I was a sucker for Who Dat for that reason. Anything that Just Blaze does.
Yes.
But in this particular case.
But great horns and progression. Really nice. I'm surprised that this was not your pick for your favorite beat, because progression's nice. It's a nice tempo.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit, it's not super fast, but it's faster than all of the other Neighbors and Immortal and Deja Vu.
I think I like the drums on this better, but like Folding Clothes just has that uniqueness to it, and the guitar. The fun. Anytime there's a funky guitar,
I actually think, no, maybe not. I know J. Cole actually did play some bass and guitar on the album. I don't know if he played bass and guitar on Folding Clothes, but I know he did on some of the other songs.
What a renaissance man. Did you also know that he plays basketball?
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that he actually didn't reference his basketball
No, he did.
all that much?
No, not all that much.
He doesn't reference crossovers or
He doesn't. No,
pick and
not
rolls
not
or-
like his first two,
Yeah.
the warm up,
Yeah.
or like Cold
He's
World,
holding a
sideline
basketball
story
on the
He's holding-
cover of the warm-up. So
In Cold World's sideline story, he's in a locker room.
yeah, he is. He is.
Back to the beat, it feels kind of like something between a beat that Common or Nas would flow over. Like it
Yeah,
feels like it has
definitely.
like that
I
kind of
definitely
New
feel
York 90s horns, boom bap feel, and I could absolutely hear Common like
Which is
over
super
it.
appropriate because I think that this album is like J. Cole at his most common-ish.
I would agree with that statement.
This is like his most. He's got the storytelling thing going on. He's got
and
the consciousness
Nas too.
thing going
Not
on.
with like Nas's style, more of Common style, but Nas too, like that storytelling kind of hood into introspective mentality, trying to look outside of that and share that story with
Yeah, but I definitely choose Common because Common definitely leans more towards the mushy. I don't want to say mushy. That makes it sound bad, but like the more emotional, tender,
Sensitive.
the sensitive, vulnerable side that
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of these hard rappers don't ever want to touch.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they just need to talk about cars and
it's
money
it's like that one song.
that's all
off-
fun.
It's like that one song off of Forest Hills Drive. What's it called? It's called GOMD. He says this is the part that the thugs skip, and he's like it's a preface into talking about like the real stuff that you were just saying, the very sensitive,
Yeah.
emotional stuff, and he directly references that on the last album, but this one he does it indirectly. You know, this is me being sensitive and emotional, and that's fine. That's my
Yeah.
style. I don't care what people think about that.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest strength of the album, and I think that it's a really good precedent for him to set because when he went mainstream, he definitely leaned more towards the hard
Yeah,
rap
exactly.
stuff,
Yeah,
and it didn't really work out for him, and I think it made him seem like a less good rapper than he is.
Yeah, I agree because he's
yeah.
trying to make hits.
Yeah.
Like he was feeling pressure from Rock Nation to make hits and to like release stuff like the "Work Out for Me" song, which was like it was fine. It was a hit. It got on the charts, and then he had a couple other ones. But yeah, he's moving away from that, moving more towards some real storytelling stuff. Great line on this one. That's one of my favorites. How he's talking to this girl, his friend's daughter, and saying like his friend James was real. But not because he was against the law, which he was apparently, and not because he had a huge fancy car or stuff, but it's because he loved you, his daughter. That's what made him real. And that's, I think, a great capstone mentality to the whole thing.
And it's not too in your face because he does weave it into a really, really nice story. This is a really good album to show the maturation of J. Cole. And I think this is more the J. Cole that the hip hop heads who fell in love with him during his mixtape days. That's the J. Cole
was
that
the
you're looking forward to.
expectation.
And instead of this big Drake style rapper,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
not his thing
It's
anyway.
not his thing,
because
yeah.
he's actually good at rapping.
Yeah, exactly.
And
No, for real though, because like people listen to the come up, listen to the warm up, and they loved this monologue and this socially conscious vibe. Together with, for sure, I can stunt if I want to or ball out if I want to, but he's like leaning more towards that other side, the social side that people love, but with great flow and great writing ability.
yeah, the execution is still there.
Execution,
and it's exactly
and,
what
like,
you
yeah.
you can still nod your head to these beats.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of the best things about this album is that he doesn't talk about his own poop as much as
Oh, yeah.
he does in like everything else.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get any references to his bowel movements this time.
It's really
or
nice.
comparing himself to bowel
or
movements.
comparing his bowel movements to other people's bowel movements. Like it's just really nice to not
That's
talk
true.
about hot
That's
shit
true.
for like a minute.
That's true. J. Cole, maybe lay off the fecal references.
He did. He did.
He
and
did.
It
No, he
worked
did.
out.
It did. It worked out.
Yeah.
It's a positive
It
outcome.
worked out for me. You didn't catch that. That's okay.
What?
It was a bad joke anyway. I said it worked out for me.
Oh, work out for me. Well, if we got a good thing.
Now for the segment at the end of the episode that I like to call the top 5 segment.
The top
It's
5.
so creatively named. It's so creatively named. We pick a category and we share our top 5 in that category. And this episode's category is cruising songs. It's like when you're in your car, you're driving, no matter what the situation, you're cruising along. What are your top 5 favorite songs to listen to?
While you're cruising.
So we're gonna start with number 5 and we're gonna count up to our number 1s.
Wait, before we get to the actual numbers, can I just for 1 second talk about my thought process behind this?
Oh yes, absolutely.
So I was actually thinking about this a lot, and Shanley, as my witness, I'm usually very indecisive with things, and I have a hard time putting a top 5 or top 10 together.
Me suggesting a top 5 list is torture.
It really is
Adrian.
torture. Let
It's
me just let you know.
torture.
I'll preface it by saying we were supposed to make top 5. My list has 34 songs on it. So having to narrow it down to 5 was difficult. But in narrowing it down, I had to actually like stop and think about what top cruising songs meant for me.
Yeah, the drivability of a song.
The drivability of a song. And in my definition of cruising, this is for me. This is a self-imposed definition just to allow me to actually get through this list quicker. It's something I'm going to do during the day. I'm not calling it nighttime because I don't consider nighttime like cruising really. Like you're like, I don't know. I have a different definition for like a nighttime, like you're kind of like pensive, kind of, there's a different vibe. So for me, cruising is like, this idealistic, hip hop scenario, like top down, the sun's out, you're rolling in the car, you're not in a rush to get anywhere, you're just like letting the air and the sunshine, caress your face.
Yeah.
And you're going down and you're bumping some songs.
Yeah.
And that was my definition for
So
it.
slow rolling in a music video.
Like slow rolling, and that doesn't necessarily mean the song has to be slow or the song can't be hype, but I kind of specifically did stay away from very hype songs.
Okay.
And very hard. Actually, there's some very hard and heavy hitty songs, but like they didn't have like a dark mood. Is my point.
Gotcha. Kept them up. Yeah. I feel like for that aspect of it, I did a similar thing. But for me, I actually chose different kinds of driving because I wanted to cover my bases. So at number 5, what do you got?
Number 5 is Common, The Light.
Yeah, second. It's important we communicate and tune the fate of this union to the right pitch. I never call you my bitch or even my boo.
Yes.
There are times when you need someone. This may be a controversial opinion because this is a hip hop podcast. The song The Light with Jay Dilla producing.
Absolutely.
Sample is from Bobby Caldwell, Open Your Eyes. I might like Bobby Caldwell's Open Your Eyes more than I like The Light.
See, the thing is, the Common is just so smooth on top of it, and Jay Dilla putting the drums on it.
It is nice.
Like,
I really like the line about the matching shirts.
Yeah. So, like, that's my 5. That's my 5. Like, it's just a classic song. Like, it puts me in a good mood anytime I listen to it.
Yeah.
It makes me nod my head.
Yeah.
And, like, I can absolutely imagine cruising down.
Yeah. It's got the right bass line for a cruise.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What's your top 5?
So my number 5
Number 5.
is Show Me What You Got, Jay-Z, off Kingdom Come.
Get a drummer some. I already gave the summer some. It's the winter's turn. Hobie Hove is the coldest. I just get better with time. I'm like Opus, one, young. No
And the reason it's on this list is because in the music video, I'm swayed by the music video.
Okay.
First of all, they got the Ferrari F430 Spider, and they have the Paganis on the Roadster on there, and those are delicious cars.
Yes.
And they've got them driving in the beginning. The intro to that song, the sax intro to that song, sounds like you're revving up the engine, and then it's a Just Blaze beat, which makes a cruise feel like a flight.
It does. No, Just Blaze has that knack to just get you. See, that's a great song. The reason that might not be on my list is because like it maybe gets me a little too hype. Even if the subject matter is light, like the beat is just like, it just gets me pumped up.
I feel like it gets my blood flowing, but in the way that like I'm cruising from like a place to like the most amazing party ever. Like I'm on my way to the most
that's
amazing
that's a party prep
gala
song.
event.
Yeah, bespoke, custom, but like classy, not like showing off.
Yeah,
but if
understated,
people,
understated. But and everyone sees me and is like, hey, but in their mind they're thinking, who is this enormously handsome Chinese man? It's because on my way there in my Ford Fiesta, I listened to Show Me What You Got. All right, number 4.
Probably the best song on that album, by the way.
Probably the only song on that album. Continuing on.
Yes. No. Good point. So number 4 for me is a song that came to my mind literally immediately as we started talking about this list. Because ever since this has come out, which was I think a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, this has been the top bumped song in my car. And that is Kendrick Lamar, All Right.
You can live at the mall. I can see the evil. I can tell it. I know it's illegal. I don't think about it. I deposit every other zero. Thinking of my partner. Put the candy painting on the Rico. Digging in my pocket. In a profit big enough to feed you every day. My logic. Get another dollar.
And this is kind of going against my, it can't be like hype and it can't get you pumped. But I still feel like it has to be mentioned for me just because of the the amount of times it's been bumped in my car in the past 2 years. And I love the beat. I love Kendrick's flow on it. I even love Pharrell's weird hook thing that's like kind of weird, but not. And
Do you feel me? Do you mean we're gonna be all right?
yeah. And the fact that it is a Pharrell production, I think with a couple of other co-producers, but that also kind of speaks to me. I've always been a Neptune's Pharrell fan.
It's the vocals that really sell it for me.
Yeah, no, that exactly. No, those vocals.
And then
that's
the beat drops.
It was my first favorite song on that album. It has a special place. So that's my number 4.
I was off that album. Mine would have been King Kunta. It was in my consideration for that. I really like that.
I was going between those two, but All Right had to do it for me.
So for my number 4, Tribe Called Quest. Can I kick it?
Ooh.
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm gone. Can I kick it to all the people who can quest like a tribe does? Before this, did you
Can
really
I
know
kick
what I
it?
was?
Yes, you can. That's a great one.
It's the bass line, the repetitive bass line in the best way. This is the more chill drive.
Yeah.
You know, this is the or it's a lazy Sunday. It's sunny. It's late afternoon. You know, and you're on the search for some delicious tacos.
Yes.
You like found this place on Yelp, and you're like, yeah, it's like a 23 minute drive, but I'm down to go
That's
because we
fine.
got
We're
nothing else
cruising.
better to do. We're cruising.
We're not in a rush.
And then so you put this song on, and
No,
you're on your
it's-
way.
Yeah. You're kicking it.
Yeah. You are kicking it.
You are kicking it. It's aptly titled.
So I definitely like this song.
No, that's a great one. And we'll mention some honorable mentions at the end, but there was a couple Tribe songs I was going between. That's a good one, though. That's a great one. On to number 3.
Number 3, Bronze Medal.
So my song is the Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls, featuring Puff Daddy and Murda Mace, M-A$E. Mo Money, Mo Problems.
B-I-G-P-O-P-P-A, no info for the DEA. Federal agents mad cause I'm flagrant. Tap myself and the phone in the basement. My team supreme state.
That song is just, it puts me in a good mood. The sample, obviously, everybody knows the sample. And then just adding the beat on top with Murda Mace's smooth flow and Biggie's, crazy flow, and Puff Daddy. He's thrown in there. That's fine. We tolerate him.
He's also there.
we tolerate him. But
He
no,
is a
it's,
presence.
It's just, it's just one of those classic songs that you got to bump in the whip. 90s gold right there.
For me, number 3, Lupe Fiasco, Tilted.
I wear Cartier glasses, Von Dutch pants, Game Boy Advances next to the BlackBerry. I'm next to
I have to admit, one of the reasons for this is because back in college, I played Need for Speed Most Wanted. And it is one of the more prominent songs on there that I liked. And like the whole, like the descending, like, and then like another thing on top of it that descends like,
Yeah.
like two descending things, like you're just going into it, and then like the tight guitar during the verses. It's got good drums. It's just a really, to me, it's a
solid
really good
beat.
driving
It's
song.
a catchy song.
It's a
like-
more hype
it's-
driving song.
Yeah, but it's talking about driving. Like,
Yeah.
when my Cartier eye and the car goes by like, like, so
It
like,
makes car sounds.
It makes
How could
car
you not
sounds like,
drive?
it's one of those classic, like, it's going to be on a car related song list. That was actually on my 34. I'm not kidding about the 34. There are 34.
There are
songs on
34.
this.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm so proud that he whittled it down to 34 to begin with, because
No, I could have easily had 50 plus.
he could have
It's not-
easily
it's
had
not a
50 plus,
problem.
trying to put together a top 5 list and like started a rating system on like the various cruisability of every song.
Yeah, no. So Tilted was on there. I have a couple of the Lupe songs on the list, but Tilted's on there. That's a good one.
All right, number 2.
Now, number 2, this is honestly a toss-up for me between number 2 and 1. I'm going to cheat and say that they're equal, but I'll just name one before the other. For me, number 2 is Jay-Z, 99 Problems.
I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Hit me. Yeah, it's 94, and my trunk is raw. In my rear view mirror is the motherfucking law. Got 2 choices, y'all. Pull over the car or bounce on the devil, put the pedal to
This is all. See, I'm even going against my own constraints, my self-imposed
Because
constraints.
that is such a hype
Because
song.
it's such a hype song, but he talks about, getting pulled over and his trunk is locked in the back and you don't got a warrant for that. But like, you just gotta bump it. You gotta bump it when you're in the car. The Rick Rubin production with the big beat sample and the guitars and the percussion and Jay-Z doing his thing over it. It's so good.
It's a bit of a go-go feel.
Which is sick. Like, it gets you moving. Like, my self-imposed rule was also, I shouldn't be moving too much while I'm cruising, but you have to move to the song. You have to bob your head at least a little bit.
This is the song that you'll cruise, you'll get in an accident, but
Yeah.
you'll like
You will.
it's fine.
But it has to go on the list.
Yeah.
It has to go on the list. So
One of the problems is getting in a car crash, but bitch ain't one.
it's fine. You're good. How about you?
My number 2 is by a fraudulent, horrible artist by the name of Kanye.
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 Kane?
Kanye.
Kane
West.
Kane West.
Yes.
Yeah.
The song is called Flashing Lights.
Flashing lights, flashing lights.
Ah, that was a good choice.
And this is the only song, like, everything else on here is pretty boom bap, but this one is 4 on the floor. And it's very synthy. But the way that the chick says flashing lights, the way that the strings come in, the way the synth comes in, it is such a consistent pace. It feels so purposeful in its pace. It is like, this is like if I ever own a Bentley. Like,
Yeah.
this is the song that I would play in my Bentley.
That's like
A big ass stupid car.
No offense to the Maybach music group, Rick Ross and all those dudes, but this is like Maybach music. It's actually
It's
like
actual
Maybach music.
Yeah, Maybach,
Maybach
music.
music.
It's Maybach music. It's not Maybach,
not Maybach
music.
music.
Not Maybach music. It's Maybach music.
You know, I agree.
Rolls
That's
Royce Phantom,
yeah,
cruising.
Yes.
Yeah,
this is like that. So now to number 1.
Number 1.
And like I said, probably tied with 99 Problems, but for the sake of this list, my number 1 is Dr. Dre featuring Snoop, Still DRE.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
Hitting them corners and them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the
I'm
DRE.
representing for the gangsters.
And it's just because that's the epitome. So I we're in, by the way, we haven't mentioned, but we've probably alluded to it a few times in the show. We're in LA. We're in Los Angeles, the city of angels. We've been here for most of our lives. We're not born here. I was not born here.
I've been here the plurality of my life.
I have actually been here most of my life now.
Okay.
I consider myself an adopted Californian, an adopted Angelino, if you will. Even if I did, grow up in the suburbs a little bit north of LA, I still find California and Los Angeles to be my home. That's what I consider.
You are both Hispanic enough and white enough.
Exactly. So for me, still DRE, classic West Coast feel.
Absolutely.
Scott Storch killed it with that, and then Dr. Dre put some tight beats on it. I'm pretty sure, actually, that Scott Storch probably did most of that, and Dr. Dre probably just took credit for it. And then you have Dre rapping over it with Snoop on the chorus, and little known fact, Jay-Z wrote all of Dr. Dre's verses for this one. Like, he ghost wrote. I'm pretty sure Dr. Dre probably had something to say about the verses, but you got Jay-Z ghostwriting for Dr. Dre. So, like, Jay-Z, one of my favorite rappers of all time, and Dr. Dre spitting it with this crazy beat. It's just perfect cruising music, in my opinion.
For me, that one actually might be tied with next episode.
Next episode is also that's on my list.
Because I love the da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like the tight guitar. I like tight guitars, man.
Yes.
I like guitars.
Yes, you do.
I like keyboards more because guitar is a garbage instrument. So
Shots fired.
my number 1 is, I cheated here because I know I give you shit for being indecisive, but my number 1 is a catch-all. As an Asian and a West Coast representative,
Yes.
I chose any beat by Nujabes or Exile. Because for me, I went through a lot of Nujabes beats trying to figure out like which one I like the most. And it's like Nujabes and Exile both have similar styles. They pick great samples. They're super soulful beats. And because of that, they're both just so fulfilling to listen to over long periods of time.
Yeah.
So like anything off of anything with Blue and Exile or any
Yeah.
of Exile's own stuff or any Nujabes, rest in peace Nujabes. Like if he made more stuff, like I would definitely be on that. But like all that stuff from that mid 2000s era when they were both like operating at their height, that kind of music is the perfect driving music.
Yeah, I
and the
know.
perfect cruising music especially.
And now that you got me thinking about that, I feel like there probably should be some Blue and Exile songs on this list that I've made.
Yeah, you only had 34
I only had
choices,
34
man.
choices. So,
if I had
Blue
let you
Exile
get away with
would have been, man, that album's so good, and there's definitely some Cruisin Songs. But that's a good choice. I mean, I could kind of give you shit for not choosing a song, even though you gave me shit for choosing too many songs.
If you want me to go, if you want me to go really ham on a number one, I will pick one.
Okay, do it right now.
The Chameleonaire song, They See Me Rolling.
Gonna get me riding dirty, gonna get me riding dirty.
Yeah.
Gonna get me riding
And the
dirty.
reason for that is because the most cruisingest period of my life was when I was sitting on the back of the school bus on the way to high school. And that was playing all the time.
All the time.
Like sophomore year or junior year. I can't
Are you sure you
remember.
wouldn't take the Weird Al
or something.
Yankovic parody, White and Nerdy?
I'll take the Weird
Over
Al
the
parody.
Chameleonaire featuring whoever it is.
You know, honestly, like there's like 40% of the time I would legitimately take the Weird Al version over the original. Like 40% of the time. There's like very few examples. Like Beat It, I wouldn't take. I would obviously take
you
the
would
Michael
take
Jackson
Michael. You
version.
take Michael.
But like Blurred Lines, I might take Word Crimes. I might take Word Crimes over Blurred Lines.
Yeah, no.
Like
Yeah, no.
it's a song about like offensive.
Amish Paradise, you're gonna take over Gangsta's Paradise.
Amish Paradise is sick. Yeah, there's
a lot
so
of
many. There's so many. But
Okay, fine.
Just the
Wow,
hip-hop ones.
Chameleonaire. Speaking of parodies, that name almost sounds like a parody. Like, oh, we got
Yeah, it's like if I was watching a comedy Judd Apatow movie and they
Yeah.
needed to come up with a rapper. They were
Yeah.
like, "Who are you? I'm Chameleonaire."
Chameleonaire. Really, man. Oh, you had a big hit. You probably made a lot of money off of that because it was still when people were making money.
What sounds more plausible as a rapper name, Chameleonaire or Al Pacino?
Al Pacino. Just because it's the Scarface. Like you throw in Al Pacino Scarface references or Godfather references, it's fine. You're ready to go. There's a rapper named Scarface. And actually a rapper named Scarface that is on my list of the top 34 writing songs. I'll just throw out some honorable mentions there. Let's do a few. I don't have to do it now. If you want to do yours first, and I'm gonna just do it now.
Yeah, just do it.
So the other ones you're gonna see. There's lots of West Coast homerism on this. Dr. Dre featuring Exhibit and Eminem. What's the difference? That song's amazing. The beat is crazy with the tubas and the flutes, and it's awesome. Dr. Dre featuring Snoop Dogg and Nate Dogg in the next episode. Shanley mentioned that one. It's a good one. Tupac featuring Dre, California Love. Tupac, Me Against the World, classic. I love that album. Tupac, Ambitions as a Rider. Kendrick, also from To Pimp a Butterfly, King Kunta. I know that you were thinking about.
I was thinking
putting that
about it
on
really,
there.
really hard. Yeah.
Then 2 songs from Section 80, which is my second favorite Kendrick album, Hole Up, and Rigor Mortis.
Rigor Mortis was on my consideration list as well.
One more Common song, which is actually a Jay Dilla song, but it's featuring Common and D'Angelo. So Far to Go, that beat. Kanye West featuring Jamie Foxx, Gold Digger. It's the only Kanye song on the list, and I'm actually surprised there weren't more.
That's weird because off Fleet Registration, I would pick Touch the Sky.
No, Touch the Sky, but it didn't fit. It gets me too hyped.
And also Drive Slow.
No, but it's not as good of a song as Gold Digger or Touch the Sky. So I'm going to put Touch the Sky and Gold Digger on there.
You're not going to cruise to Drive Slow.
No,
Drive Slow.
I am. I know I am. But like, I'm not crazy about the song. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
It's not one of my favorites on the album, even though I love that album. And then I had several Jay-Z songs. Dirt Off Your Shoulder, Public Service Announcement, PSA Classic. I feel like that should be on pretty much any
That should be on
hip-hop list.
any. That's gonna like we have to like
Top of
we have
hip-hop
to
list. We have to
ban it.
eliminate.
We have to ban it from all of our top 5
Yeah.
lists because, quite frankly, it fulfills so many things.
No, it's everything.
It's every song.
It goes with any category, any like hip hop song best of category you make. PSA can probably fit.
Like hottest flow, most consistent.
And his interviews are the hottest.
Yeah. Exactly. That's not off that song, but you get the idea.
Yeah. And then Jay-Z, Izzo. I could have gone with something off Reasonable Doubt, but I decided Izzo.
The only reason I decided not to include that one is because like I'd just rather listen to I Want You Back when I'm driving.
Yeah, no, But we were going specifically hip hop.
Yeah,
right?
we were. But if I prefer the sample more, that's also why I knock against the light.
No, I feel that. I still love Izzo. Kanye West's one of his first big hits.
Yeah, and you can hear how weak the drums are.
Yeah,
The drums are weak.
Dude, there's a lot of Kanye hate going on now. I don't know if we're gonna.
I'm just saying, like as a producer, he had
I love Kanye. I love
great sample choice,
great sample choice.
great arrangement. Just why are the drums so weak?
Drums could be better. We'll touch on Kanye in another episode. Wu-Tang Clan, Cream. I could have chosen a lot of songs off of 36 Chambers, but Cream is the best cruising song in my opinion.
Okay.
Tribe, Check the Rhyme. and verses from the Abstract, because it's
All
Ron
right.
Carter
Yeah,
on the bass.
Ron Carter on the bass. My man Ron Carter.
My man Ron Carter on the bass. Nas, 2 of them. One from Illmatic, New York State of Mind. Classic album, classic song. Nas, Made You Look. That one's from Godson. That's a weird, that's probably the strangest pick in my list.
That's. I'm surprised they made the 34.
I know.
The vaunted 34.
I know, the vaunted 34. And now, in hindsight, Blue in Exile should have been on there, and there's other things. This one, I'll put an asterisk next to this one. This one is not quite, doesn't quite make the cut in hindsight. Outkast, So Fresh and So Clean.
Yeah.
Nice guitar, nice beat. 2 Roots songs. The Roots, Guns Are Drawn, Off the Tipping Point.
Is that the bounce?
No, that's. Yeah, dude, that beat is just crazy.
Yeah.
That's a good cruising beat. And Black Thought is an all-time underrated rapper in my opinion. The next Roots song, Proceed, from Do You Want More? Lupe. I also had Tilted on this list, but I also had Kick Push.
Part 1.
Yes, part 1, not part 2. And then Carrera Lou.
Yeah, and to quote him,
this one is another random one that when I was thinking about it, I used to bump this song in the car a lot back when it came out in 2006. T.I., Top Back. It's a very mid-2000s synth horn track with 808s and stuff, but
Okay.
it's good.
I see that.
And then I was actually gonna pick the Lupe cover of this song, but I just went with the original. Mike Jones featuring Slim Thug and Paul Wall, Still Tippin'. The one with the violin, the violin symbol.
Lupe's version being Switch.
Exactly. Switch.
Which he does kill. There's a few things that I would have put in my honorable mentions list. There's a Lazy Afternoon. Out of the more random rappers, because there's a lot of random rappers that we did not tap into at all. These are all pretty big names.
Yeah.
I would cruise to Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster.
Yeah, that's on my list. I'm still not done with my list.
You asshole.
That's fine. I'll let you keep going. See, that's Scarface. I have two more Biggie songs, Hypnotize and Juicy, classics. Anyway, continue.
You don't have a single Ludacris song.
I don't. And there's a reason for that. It's too hype.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got some chill songs.
Yeah, but the songs I like.
Okay, do you think Potion is too hype?
No, I don't think that's too hype.
I think that's
could have been.
I think that's a pretty, because it's got the repetition that I think is necessary.
Any other honorable mentions, Shan?
Yeah. Nothing from Macklemore. He doesn't really make cruising songs.
No.
There's some good cruising songs from Drake.
As much as we hate to admit it.
I would take He Had It Coming, the Queen Latifah, Lil' Kim, I think Missy Elliott, off the Chicago, the musical movie soundtrack. They did a random ass rap song. And it's got these horns. I'm a sucker for horns. And,
I'm actually, I in hindsight, I could have probably chosen a couple Missy songs.
We'll have more top 5 lists.
Get Your Freak On. What is that one? The zoo, the kisser, the zoo, the Z. I don't even know what they're saying. Yeah, nobody knows what they're saying.
But it's provocative.
We won't loot on it. Once upon a time in Carla Park, would it loot like fast and then scared of dog. See, that would have incorporated Missy and Luda in one song. That would have been a good one.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, there's a lot of songs we did not consider.
No, yeah, we didn't. Yeah,
you got a great cross section of who our favorite rappers are.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
Yeah. So with that, I think we have a podcast. Once again, shout outs to our sponsors who are.
Oh, and
let's not forget. All right. Next episode, you can look forward to us have a discussion about the current trend of mumble rap.
Sorry.
And then we'll also be introducing our top 5 rhyme schemes. Yeah, so we're going to be
That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, Adrian is also going to
make a list that's
it's
way than
too
5.
long and just regret putting 15 songs on
I'll have
that.
20 minutes of honorable mentions.
Yeah. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. We're going to have a website, 2and4podcast.com. That's going to be spelled out. So TWO and FOUR podcast.com.
Check us out on the interwebs.
Yeah, I already said
that. Subscribe. Tell your friends.
Yeah, we're going to figure out email lists and, other perks for you guys and stuff like that. We might set up a Patreon. We'll see what happens. Let us know how you felt about this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Please.
We want to hear as much feedback as possible because we want to give you as good of a hip hop podcast as possible.
Yes.
We want to be the number 1 hip hop podcast out there.
please get on our case for our Kanye hate and early mid 2000s bias.
Look, man, I don't know about your bias. I think Kendrick Lamar is the greatest rapper of all time.
Okay.
I don't call him the LeBron of rap because he's better. He's the Michael Jordan. We're eventually going to have a LeBron that's people are going to be like, is he going to be as good as Kendrick? And it's going to be like, no.
This is a controversial
Yeah.
opinion.
we got more controversy in future episodes.
Yes.
This is the 2 and 4 podcast. I am Shanley Wong.
And I'm AD, Adrian Trujillo.
Yeah. Peace.
Thank you.